Good afternoon. In today's video, I'm going to be applying a full face of makeup that is peach themed. Not just like the color of the eyeshadows, but like all of this makeup, either the shade is peach or the packaging has like peaches on it. And I kind of discovered all this by accident. I've been rearranging my collection. I don't know if you can tell from like my palettes, my lipsticks are a little bit different. Like I've been kind of sorting through things and like I don't know, reinvigorating myself, kind of reorganizing and, just seeing what I have. If you have a lot of makeup, you know what I'm talking about. Like things kind of get pushed to the back, you kind of forget and you're like, it seems brand new once you go to pull it back out. So I was going through my base drawer, primer, foundation, powders, and I was finding a lot of peach things and I was like, man, this is weird. Like, I wonder if I have any more. Well, I found things pretty much in every category. This is just for fun. This kind of occurred the same way my food themed video, like just all food themed. This is all peaches. So just for fun, we're going to apply all of this. So let's go ahead and get into it. It is storming outside right now. So if you can hear the thunder, I hope it's soothing. Now, I don't have brows or an eyeshadow primer that are peach. So I'm going to throw those things on here really quickly. I've, like I said, rearranged and I can't find any of my things. Going in with the MAC Paint Pot and Painterly for my eyeshadow primer really quickly. I figured I better get this makeup look in for the summer here. I am like fully ready for the fall makeup. Like not necessarily the weather. I don't mind the weather right now. It's still nice out, but I'm completely ready for fall makeup. I even have ready to go, like picked out my top however many like eyeshadow palettes for the fall. I was gonna film it like pretty soon, and then I looked it up to see when the actual first day of fall is. It's not till like September 22nd or something, and I was like, it may be a little soon, but we'll see. I might go ahead and do that. Like I'm ready for like the maroon eyes, the vampy lips. I was swatching all my lipsticks the other day, and I'm ready. So I'm probably going to start like that kind of stuff before too long. Sorry if it's a little soon for you. But for now, we've got some peaches and orange and fun stuff to do here. I'm going to go ahead and fill in my eyebrows really quickly. I'm just going to use this like brow ultra slim pencil. And what's really funny to me is the one thing I don't have that's actually peach themed is an eyeshadow palette. I picked one out that's like peach, but I don't have one that's like peach themed. I don't own the Too Faced one. Although I have seen it at my TJ Maxx, I did not pick it up. Because it was still like 30 bucks. I want to say it was like $30. Not a lot of their high-end palettes like that will go for about $25, $24.99. I am pretty sure this one was like $29.99. That felt like too much. I mean, now if it goes onto the clearance rack or something, you may see it appear on the shelf, but I'm not going to go out of my way for that one, I don't think. For primer, I have the Milani Peach Glass Skin Illuminating Primer. Has like where the sticker was on here, ignore that. I've only used this one time because it's like glass skin, and it really was. Like it looks very, very pretty, but with oily skin, it definitely gets oily. But with the foundation I have today, I feel like this could be really good. So we're going to try this out. And it does smell like peaches. It smells nice. I'm not the biggest fan of like fake peach smells. I'm just going to blend this in with a brush. I just put on these giant fake nails. So we're going to try it with this. I'm not a huge fan of fake peach scents. I love real peaches. But I feel like candy peaches and like the taste and scent can sometimes get almost a little gross. Like I don't know how to describe it. Cuz like I can taste it, but I don't know what it doesn't taste. It tastes like fake peach and it's gross. But real peaches or like peach rings, I do like peach rings. Now you can see already how shiny that is. That is glass skin. I feel like this winter I'm going to really like this. I definitely feel that as I'm getting older, I'm starting to be able to go through like seasonal cycles with my makeup, where it used to be matte products all the time. I was greasy no matter what. But now I feel like I do get a little bit drier in the winter. It gets a little bit more, tight like the skin, so some more moisturizing, dewy products can be nice. We're going to let that sit for just a moment. And I'm going to go in with this Bobbi Brown corrector in Light Peach. And this is something I did pick up from TJ Maxx. And I do feel like it is pretty pricey for what it is, like how small this is. But I have really been enjoying it, even in this shade. I thought the shade Light Peach was going to be too dark. I've heard people talk about these and using the light bisque shades. And so when I got this and swatched it, it is very, very peach. But it seems to actually work and it seems to cover. So I do really like this corrector. I feel like the shade is really good to actually correct. But I don't like to take this corrector too far up under the eye because I do have, you know, the fine lines there. And too much product gets caked in it and it is not a good look. So I like to put it down on my cheek. That is where I have discoloration. So that's where I like to put it. I know a lot of people do like the inner corner to brighten that. But for me, it's like the spots right here on the top of my cheeks that kind of accentuate a dark circle. So there is our Light Peach corrector. Now for foundation, I'm sure anybody can guess what this is. I think this is discontinued now, but I have the Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation. I know it is an older product. It still smells like peach. It works fine. It doesn't break me out. But I do notice now that this is starting to make my skin a little drier. Like my skin personally definitely leaves, you know, a heavier look. That's why I feel like with this primer, it's going to feel nice. And I will say this primer, it feels almost like tacky. Sometimes with a glowy primer, it feels really greasy. This I feel like it makes it almost kind of tacky. It's kind of nice. And my pores actually look really good today. So I'm going to take a pump of the Peach foundation and I have the shade Snow. I have two shades of this and they're both very, very yellow. So I'm going to grab a brush. Forgot to wet a sponge. I really would prefer that with this. Also has a bit of a peach smell. I've had like this pimple on the top of my nose and like one right here, and they refuse to heal. I picked at them, of course, but now I can't get them to go away. It's just a red mark. This is looking really pretty over the top of that foundation, or excuse me, the top of that primer. And I am being cautious to not apply too much of this. Don't want it to look too cakey. Ooh, that glow is still coming through. Look at that. I told you, this primer is no joke. It is so glowy. For concealer, I didn't really have any peach themed, but I do have a Light Peach in the e.l.f. Hydrating Concealer. I need to finish this up. I've had it at like this level for a while. And I am the worst about that, like using it almost up and then not. You know, I'm like, oh, it's almost gone. And then I just abandon it. Like, finish it. What are you doing? I might go through and pull out some things like I want to use up. I tried project panning a while ago. I just like to use so many different things that I feel like I didn't reach for those things. But at this point, I feel like I have some things I really want to use and have them gone, like that thing. Like it's almost gone. I need to just use it. It is a very good concealer. I would recommend that one. I think it's $6 or $7. I'm going to go for some powder. Now, I didn't have any powder in this category, but I did find one that I actually was getting rid of. And that is the Peach Blur powder from Too Faced, also Too Faced. Now I was getting rid of this because I don't feel like it really set my face. It looks like this. It's kind of this peachy, like almost shimmery powder, but it's not shimmery on the face. I don't know. We're going to set the face with it and see what happens. I have not used this in forever, and I took it out for this video. Okay, I'm just going to take this fluffy brush. Okay, I feel like it is setting a little bit, but that may just be whatever is left in this brush. Actually, some cream cheek products. I don't know if I should have set my face, but we'll see. Alright, that set it okay, but I did have to apply a lot of that powder. Like, I was going in to put it on. I don't have a contour of any kind that is peachy, so we're just going to move past that today. But for bronzer, it is also a Too Faced product. There are a couple brands that are kind of guilty of this, like, gimmicky colorful stuff. Another Too Faced. This is a Sweetie Pie bronzer. The Radiant Matte Bronzer infused with peach and sweet fig cream. Same kind of thing. Called Sweetie Pie, but it has like the peach on it, so we're going to go with this. I used this so much when I got it because it reminds me of the Laura Geller one that's kind of like the pink and brown all swirled together. And I like that on my skin. It looks a little more natural than an orangey tone or really warm tone. The red and pink, it works for me. That's what color I turn when I get, you know, tan. So let's grab a brush for this. Let's use this BH brush. Just going to swirl into all of it. I haven't used this one in a bit. I think it got down to a lot of the pink and it started to look more like a blush. So let's see. Oh, that looks really nice. I like doing themed videos like this sometimes. I pull out stuff like this that fits the theme, but I wouldn't normally use this anymore. Like it's in here and I like it, but I just grab for other things. I wonder if my skin's looking better today because I've had more water than usual. I usually would like contour the center of I keep looking at the ring light instead of the camera. So if you see me looking past it, I'm just looking into the light. I don't know why. Okay. So there is the peach bronzer. For blush, I actually have a couple of options. I have 2 cream ones and a powder blush I'm going to put over the top. So for the cream blush, or liquid blush, I have the Milani You're a Peach, and I also have the e.l.f. Jelly Pop in Peach Pop. And I know that I like this one, which is why I picked it, but I've never used this one. I'm kind of afraid it's going to be way too shimmery for me. I don't want to tip it too much. It's like literally liquid. But I kind of want to play with this, and we'll see if it's too shiny. If so, we'll go over with the other one. So I think we're going to try this one. It smells just like the watermelon primer. It smells nice. Okay, let me grab a little stippling brush. We're going to go into the lid here. There's a little bit of product. Okay, you guys, this is super glowy, but like, I kind of like it. When I first put it on, I thought, oh no. Oh no, like I just kept going, and I actually really like that. Like that is very glowy, but that like set down, like there's nothing. Wow, okay. It is almost a highlighter, like it is glowy. That is why I didn't take it in, I'm trying not to take it in too far. I really focused it out here. So if I take it in here, it's gonna look textured, but wow. Okay, but that took so little. Like this huge thing, for both cheeks, it was one dab into the lid. I can't imagine how long this is going to last me if it doesn't go bad before then, but I'm going to take a touch, like barely a touch. Let's see if it's left on the brush. Put a little across the nose here. It's kind of like those perfusion blushes where you don't go into it with like a negative thought. It's like, okay, it should be all right. You know, I'm not going to buy it if I thought it was going to be bad. But like, it's way better than you thought. That's what's happening right now. I'm impressed with the Jelly Pop Flush Blush and Peach Pop. I think this is like no longer a thing. I found this at TJ Maxx though, like, a couple weeks ago. So it's very recent. So if you see it, you like a glow. Like that is glowy though, like whoa. But it also has pigment. I feel like sometimes with glowy blushes like this, it's almost just all glow and you're not seeing any pigment, no color. It doesn't look like a blush. This looks like a glowy blush. I like it. I like that. Okay. The powder blush I pulled out is actually, I thought this would be, but like this one I was like, okay, this is peach to the next level. The Bellini palette from BH Cosmetics. I mean, look at this. Georgia Peach, just peachy. Peachy Keen. Peach of Cake. I'd never actually read that one. It's hilarious. Life's a Peach. Peach, please. I think we'll go over the top with like the lightest shade over here. I'm gonna take this Real Techniques, nope, this Moda brush, and go into the Georgia Peach, which is the lightest shade. I'm gonna go into Just Peachy, which is the shade right next. Nope, I'm gonna go into Peach of Cake, which is the one down here. It is taking down the glowiness a little bit, which is okay. But I would feel totally comfortable wearing the e.l.f. blush by itself. It didn't feel sticky or tacky or anything like that, so. Okay, definitely heavy on the blush today, but that's all right. For highlighter, I actually have quite a few choices for this as well. I'm going to grab my Laura Geller Peach Glow. Like this, which is so peachy and pretty. I don't know that we need any more glow. I don't know if we're going to be able to tell from the blush. So another reason I did this though was I was like, oh, I haven't used those in forever because I'm not a fan of the glowy products normally. But like the glow today is like nice. These are good ones. Okay. Before I do my eyeshadow, I probably should set my face because I don't want this on my eyeshadow. This is the Milani Make It Last Illuminating Peach Scented Setting Spray. Also illuminating. Matches that primer. Just do a couple spritzes of this. Cover my hair though. It doesn't smell like the primer. Not quite as peachy. I have to say, this combo of everything, this looks so good. I'm so excited. For eyeshadow, like I said, I don't have an eyeshadow palette that is peach themed. I have all kinds of food, all kinds of fruits, cherries, pizza, cake, but ultimately, I went with this from Cara Beauty, this Miss Independent palette. I've not used this. I have swatched it, but I've not actually used this on my eyes. And this just looks super pretty. Very peachy. This shade over here, I do this every time. This shade over here, this Effortless shade, looks like it could be the same kind of shadow that is in that Lorac palette I love. This Lorac shade right here, I'm kind of hoping this can be a dupe for, so let's swatch this one. The top one is Lorac, the bottom one is this Cara Beauty. They definitely look alike in the swatches, definitely a different color. To swatch them, it feels grittier in the Cara palette. We're going to go in with this today just because I have not used this one. So I'm going to the shade Most Eligible, which is right here in the corner. And I'm putting that kind of all over the crease. I think my next look is going to have to be a like maroon smoky eye type of thing. I've seen a lot of those online lately, just random advertisements and people and stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's so good. I actually got this palette in a set with this one. It came in a set at TJ Maxx. These were on clearance for, I want to say like $3 for the set. It's like $1.50 an eyeshadow palette. I was like, yes. I've seen it there for a while. You know, you start to see the same things that nobody's purchasing. But I was like, for $3, and it hadn't been swatched or anything. I thought, how is that possible? Something has been there that long, it's always swatched. It's definitely something in my TJ Maxx. A negative. I glanced through the clearance, but by the time it's over there, people just feel like they can just use it. I'm like, gross. So I tend to not buy a lot on clearance at TJ Maxx, but I love the normal price stuff. Taking the shade CEO, which is the orangey in the middle. I'm going to go into the crease. Ooh, that's pigmented. Wow, really pigmented. This is a really cute little palette. I like this better than my big Cara Beauty palettes. Those are good. Like they're pretty decent. I don't use them a lot. But this one's like, wow, this has been a really surprising video. Things I don't always use, but I am impressed with some of these things. I'm going to take the same brush and that same shade and go underneath the eye actually. It's a little smoky peach happening. Now I want to take an even smaller brush, I think, for the outer corner. We're going to go into the shade Ambitious, which is the brown over here. Put that on the outer corner. Oh, that's lighter than I thought it was going to be. Let's build that up a little bit. I'm going to go over that with the CEO shade, that matte orange. What I'm really excited for are these shimmers here, so let's get these mattes on so we can move on to those. Another hair on my face. Speaking of scratching your face, my kids asked me the other day about scratching your face, like when you have makeup on. One of them did something to their face, and he said, Mom, you have something here, so I kind of like dabbed it off. And he said, how do you scratch your face when you're wearing makeup? I said, you ever see me do this? He goes, yeah. I said, that's what I do. He said, have you ever accidentally done it while you had makeup on? I said, yeah. I said, I've done this while I have a full face of makeup on, and went, oh no. So I said, yeah, I've done it. I've done it. Take that thinner brush. I'm going to use the shade Big Dreams here. It's kind of a sparkly peach, but not like glittery looking. I'm going to put that down here a little bit just to see. I just want to try all these shades. It's pretty. It's like the same color as this one, but shimmery. for $1.50. This is amazing. I am tickled with this for that price. All over the lid, I'm going to take the shade Effortless, which is the good one here on the end. We're going to put that all over the lid without poking my eyes out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it with these fingernails on. Okay. That's partly why I'm filming so late. I showered today, and then everything, like, while I was in the shower today, all my, like, my nails started to come off. So I pulled them all off, and I was like, oh man, I got to put fresh ones on. Oh no, I'm going to have to use a finger. Well, let's see, because they did not look pretty. And I picked these up at Target. I was just looking at the nails. I was actually looking for nail glue, because as the week goes, like, I just have to keep reapplying. You know, doing dishes and things like that. Things fall off. So I have a bottle of nail glue that sits underneath my bananas in my kitchen. Underneath my little, like, banana stand. I leave my nail glue tube there. So when something pops off when I'm doing dishes, I set it over there until I'm done, and then I re-glue it. Real life. You know, it doesn't always look great. So this is looking really pretty though. If you see this for clearance for $3, I haven't even used the other palette yet. That was part of my reorganizing. I wanted things that I haven't used or I don't use very often moved up. Like my ColourPop ones are here in the middle now, and I've kind of mixed and matched the brands. I don't always do that. Usually it's like all BH, all ColourPop, all this. When I do that, then I just kind of see them as chunks rather than like individual palettes. So that's partly why I kind of mixed them up a little bit. Like even over here, I kind of tried to pick out ones that I wanted to use now. Like I looked at all the colors and everything like that. Like I said, some of the fall things got moved to the top a bit because those are kind of what's on my mind. I don't know, just kind of revamping, refreshing, giving myself like that new energy. Between the blush, the eyeshadow, the primer, I am really tickled with how this is turning out. I didn't expect it to be bad, but a lot of these are products I don't use all the time, or ever, for some of them. For eyeliner, I think I'm actually just going to go with this brown pencil from Besame. Since everything else is pretty light, I kind of want to add a little bit of definition down here on the bottom. I don't have a peach eye pencil. These Besame eye pencils were also a surprise. This one and the white one from like the Marilyn Monroe collection. They're just wooden pencils, so I didn't have high hopes. But these are actually really gorgeous. Like even as an inner corner highlight. I'm gently applying that. For wooden pencils, they work really, really well. I think we're going to skip eyeliner on the top. I will apply some mascara. Okay, going off my Lash Princess. This has been smudging on me, but I wear it underneath the one I'm about to put on top, the Lash Sensational. This is the Lash Sensational Maybelline. Now this I will take on the lower lashes and just do like a little touch. Lips were another category, kind of like the eyeshadow, where I didn't have a ton in that was actually like peach in the name. It's, you know, all these are peach lipsticks, but I did find a couple of things. We have the Clinique Quick Liner for Lips in Cocoa Peach. So we'll use this. It was the only lip liner I found that had peach in the name. Also an underused product. I use my Clinique ones all the time, but usually more of the rose or the like pinkier shades. Okay, there's that in Cocoa Peach. I'm not sure why Cocoa Peach, but very pretty lip liner. For lips, I found a couple of things. I have the Mrs. Banks Peach from Besame. I have Peach Buff, the matte lipstick from Maybelline. Wild Peach from e.l.f. and Peach Margarita Gloss from Glamlight. So I think I'm going to start with the Besame and Mrs. Banks Peach. It's a really pretty lipstick, but it's just so metallic every time. I'm shocked every time how metallic this is. Over the top of that, I'm actually going to add a little bit of this, like, matte one. Okay. Since I have it out, we'll go ahead and with the Glamlight Peach Gloss. Doesn't really smell like peaches, but... And there you have it. Our peach-themed makeup look for today. All peaches. And I really like the way that this turned out. I'm really tickled that I found some, kind of rediscovered some products, or even used them for the first time, which is sad, because I've had these for a while. But This e.l.f. blush shocked me, and the BH palette, really, really nice. And even the glowy primer with that matte foundation, this is looking really good. It looks really smooth. It just looks nice. All right, I think that is it for today. I hope this kind of inspired you to go through your collection a little bit and just pull out some things you haven't used. Like I said, sometimes it helps me to have a theme, you know, go with, you know, all pink, all fruity, all, you know, all food, something like that. Or, you know, just sometimes a theme helps me to pull out things that I wouldn't normally use. And it also helps give me a different combination of things that maybe I wouldn't always pair together. Like this foundation and foundation combo looking really, really nice. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll consider subscribing, and I will see you next time. Bye.